Hello guys, Zueljin here and welcome to a brand new season of Minecraft Indoors. Guys, today is going to be the first room of a long line of rooms, and what I'm going to do is essentially find an image that I like on Google Images of a specific room and try to replicate it in Minecraft. Pretty simple stuff. I did this for the last season as well, although I didn't show you. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and place a picture that I'm actually working with, or a link to the picture online, so that you guys can see the whole time what I'm talking about, and I'll actually include a smaller picture as a subsection of the video itself so you guys can just look at it as I build. And this is going to be very nonchalant. I was playing around with a few designs and I think I really like this room that we're gonna start with. So this is labeled a contemporary living room design, and it looks like what we have is a sandstone backdrop. We have a couple of drawers or media drawers. We have two little cubbies on the sides. We have some recessed lighting. It looks like we could use birch for floors. Maybe some, I don't think sandstone would work best for the couch. We should probably just go white with that. And we have dark oak that we can use for the chairs. So a couple little things that we can throw in. I think regular clay. Let's see here. I think this is the Soartex fanware pack, by the way, and I think regular old hardened clay would look the best for the walls in this application. And let's grab some sandstone for that backdrop. That's kind of grainy, right? And the last thing, or can we grab red sandstone, would probably work really well too with that. And that's the old school texture coming from there, so that'll probably work just as good. We'll get, I want to say spruce wood should work well for those drawers that we see there. And we'll need a couple of plant features. We'll definitely need some dark oak for the chairs and stuff like that too. How about glowstone? Let's look at the wall first, and let's consider the spacing. So for the spacing here, it looks like I have about 1, 2, 3 for the cubbies. And then if I decided that the TV was going to be 2 and the spacing on the sides of the TV would be 2, I'm looking at the TV is 2, then 4, then 6 for the spacing around it, and then 9 and then 12 for the entire width of the room, which isn't bad. So let's get that set up. So we have a room width of 12. We have a cubby that's 3 with a backdrop, and then we have some spruce that separates it with the drawers, and that would be, the television would be on top of here. And actually we could do some spruce slabs here instead to kind of emulate the difference between the floor and the drawer height. I think that would be best. So let's do it like that. And this will be where the TV's at, and then right on the side of that we'll have 2 spaces next to it, and then we'll go with another cubby. Alright, so that's pretty much the width of the room right there, and that's 3, 6, 9, 12. Cool. Now I think instead of doing these slabs on all of them, we could use the stairs to kind of emulate a TV stand. So let's go ahead and do that right here with the spruce. And then on top of that we can use black stained clay. Now the actual clay that I'm using is from Flows HD, because Flows HD has some smooth clays, but everything else besides that is from Soartex fanware. Okay, so we can add some border to this a little bit later, but that's just going to be a good placeholder until then. Alright, so now that we have the shelf and that sorted, let's see, how high is the room going to be? So if the television was considered 1.5 high, it looks like at least that space above there, so we can go, I think this would be the space, and I want to say that's probably it. We'll go on top just like this, and that'll be the border to the top of the room. So we'll go ahead and connect our cubbies in just like that, and then we can try a couple different materials for backdrops. So I'm thinking the red sandstone might do the job, but I don't know, I might revert to normal sandstone. I like the graininess of the red sandstone texture, but I'm not too sure about the color. So what we could probably do here is actually add some glowstone in the back to give like that recessed lighting look, because we're all gonna need to break it up a little bit. The builds won't be exact, but they'll be close, and I'm using the rooms for inspiration more than anything. Okay, so let's go down with the red sandstone and see how that looks. Looks a little bit granular to me. Probably not going to do exactly what I want for the room. I think the regular sandstone is just going to be fine. It's not quite as low textured because this texture hasn't been updated. but it does show some grain in it, and I think that will be plenty for the backdrop. Even though it's a little bit closer to the same color as the wall, there's still a unique difference in it, and I think we'll be okay with that. And we'll just fill in the back here. That way every space is filled so that when you look at it from the front, the entire wall has the backdrop and you wouldn't know the difference. There's 2 layers of depth here and it looks good. Okay, so that's the basis of the wall. Now, probably plant features would be the good way to go here, and I'm thinking a flower pot would probably be the best thing. Naturally, we can't go up as high as the pictures there, but it looks like we could get something going here. What I could use here, maybe a fern. Ferns would probably be the best. I don't think large ferns can fit in these flower pots at all, but I will try. Doesn't hurt. Yeah, it doesn't, unfortunately. The regular ferns seem to be a little bit too short as well. Let's look under the decoration blocks and see what we have here. It looks as though that's probably everything that we get is going to be relatively short. So let's just put some red tulips, which is totally different from the picture, but it's going to work as a good flower on both sides. Very good. Okay, red tulips are in, lighting's in place. We're looking pretty good so far. So what can we do next besides that? I'm thinking that we should measure out the rest of the room. So if we look at the couches on the left and right as I clear my inventory, it's probably going to be best if we use the I would say probably sandstone. I thought about quartz at first, but you know what, sandstone is going to resemble the beige a little bit more, and it's going to mock up with the floor well as also. So the sandstone is going to be good for stairs. We have some black pillows, it looks like, so we'll go ahead and opt for black banners, and there's some black banners right there, and we'll do dark wood for the other dark wood stairs for the other chairs, and we can probably do quartz for that middle table, the quartz slabs, and that should play off really well. Okay, let's measure this out. So it looks like the couch, if the couch would be 2 wide, we can't do it 3 wide because that would look ridiculous. 2 wide, starting from the inside of here, would probably go just like this, right? And let's see, if we counted the cushions and went 5, let's see, that's 3, 4, 5. That would be the width of the couch there. And then we can do a couch on the accompanying wall the same way. So we'll do 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, that'll be the couch. And the love seats, or the little chairs that accompany that, look like they're a little one space away, kind of like this. And we'll do them just around, just like that. And we'll make one the same here. But that means it'll touch. So it looks like we'll have to go a little bit wider than that, unfortunately. Let's actually touch these up in the corners, but we'll recess them one back, just like so. And I think that'll be good. That'll allow for the correct amount of spacing, and it looks like we'll be able to fit that. Now here we'll have the quartz blocks, which should start somewhere around here, I believe. And the quartz would be, the table looks like it's one space away from the chairs, but kind of centered in with the edges of the couch. So I'm thinking that this is probably good, but that does look too high. Even though I really like it, it does look too high. So maybe we'll just take that and lower it down one, because we just want it to look nice, you know? So just because it's not necessarily represented that way doesn't mean we have to do it that way. All right, so now we can take a couple of the black cushions right here. We'll go with a black cushion here and a black cushion here on both sides. There we go. And in this section here, we'll actually change that out to glowstone in order to make sure that the lighting isn't all bugged out. Let's go ahead and grab a glowstone from here, and we'll change that underneath of the block. Then we'll use the sandstone again to complete the couches. And we'll take sandstone slabs and use those as these blocks here. And there we have our 2 black cushions on the couch. Perfect. Let's go ahead and finish this one off. And then the sandstone again. Voila, perfect. Now, the rest of it has to be birch floors, I believe. So let's go ahead and change that out, and I'll do that off camera. Now that I've changed the floor out to birch, you guys, as you can see, there's a large gap between where the table is placed and where the TV is placed. So I think that we're gonna have to make a couple of adjustments here. Now there's a few things we can do. One is to move the chairs up front, but that would connect them with the couches, and I don't think that would really suit it. Another is to take the table and move it over, but it would show that there was too much distance between the chairs and the table. So I think what we need to do is evaluate the size of our couches and bring them one more down. So we'll take the couches here and kind of do what we thought we would do first, and that's take this and put the just like that, and then we'll take glowstone here and cover this up with the stair. And that should still provide enough light to give the true color of the couch or the banners. And just fill that in with birch, and we'll do the same thing right here. Let's fill this in with birch, give this a glowstone, and put a banner right here. That way the couches will be a little bit smaller and the room will measure up a little bit easier. There we go. So now the couch is a little bit smaller. Now we can take the quartz and put it a little bit closer here, and that looks like more of a sizable room. In fact, if we brought this out and just made the table a little bit larger, everything looks relatively symmetrical, and I like that. Now it's time to place a few walls around. So we've been using this for the cubbies and stuff, and I think that's closest to what the color of the left wall is. The white has a little bit of green tint, but I believe that may be due to some lighting in the room. We're just going to make it plain all the way around, and we'll figure out what we're going to do with the rest of the room that we can't see and the little bit that we can see after I finish this up. So the walls are up now, and as you can tell from the picture, you could probably see there's a little bit of space in the ceiling, and what that looks like is some sort of a recessed ceiling. So I went ahead and did the dark oak wood up top. Aside from the hole that's in there to provide light until we figure out some practical lighting, this is the design I'm gonna go with. So it looks like we need a couple of paintings in the corners, and it looks like there are a couple or a few spaces from the wall actually, and we're gonna go with the 2x2 design, and we're gonna leave space for a little bit right above it. So there's one painting right there, and on the other side it's kind of the same thing, except that's much closer to the cubby. So we'll actually do it on this level here, and the 2x1 should fit there. Perfect. Now we have a couple of separate paintings there. Looks like there's a window right here, so let's figure out the spacing in here. If we went with a 4 window, and then that leaves 3 spots on the outside, that's not quite enough. Let's go ahead and do a 3 window. We're gonna bring that all the way down to the very bottom layer, and we're going to replace the hollowed out port with glass. We'll do regular glass for this, and what we'll do is we'll actually use a little bit of brown banners for the curtains to show. So let's take the brown curtain, or the brown banner in this case, and completely cover the window with them, just like so. Just like that, and that emulates the curtain for that side of the room. Now we can take a few different things like item frames and change out the way that the top looks, but we'll figure that out in just a moment. Right next to that, we don't see what's in the actual photo, and we don't know what's in the back, but we're pretty sure that this room needs an entrance of some sort. So let's take the entrance on this side. It's going to be a 2x3 entrance, just like this. We'll replace this with birch, and then take something like dark oak slabs and put that in the top, just to show that it's an entrance of sort. And then it'll leave us a little space in the corner here. So there's a few things that we can start doing here. Mainly what we need to do is add some appropriate lighting. So if we added just a table or a shelf with some lighting back here, we can possibly do a lamp. Let's do a stand lamp with anvils. Just like this, we'll use regular anvils, and we'll cross them up like this, like this, like this, and we'll take glowstone and put it on top. There we go. That's a small corner lamp that adds a little bit of light. We can also add a little bit of light with the paintings here. It looks like this area can use a very, very large painting. So let's see if we can play around with that and get a nice design. That's a 2. That's a 4. That's probably a really good painting there too. We can add some light in here on the back. We'll do just like that. Oh, I messed that up. Actually, let's do this. Let's make this all glowstone. And then, well, we can make these glowstone as well. And then we'll add the painting. And hopefully we get the same result as we got a while ago. There's some really, really neat paintings in Soratex. Oh, we'll have to go one more over. There we go. So there's the painting that adds a little bit of light. That's fine. We could probably move this door over by 1 just so we can put a plant feature in the corner. So let's go ahead and do that. And now we can put a plant feature in the corner, which would be as easy as just maybe grabbing some jungle wood or some acacia wood. But jungle's gonna look better in this case, I believe. We'll put a couple of jungle wood. Clear up the weather and put a couple of oak leaves right on top of that. Actually, let's do it 2 in 1, like so. Okay, now the room has a little bit of symmetry. We can probably add some sort of table or shelving back here, but I think the best bet is going to be maybe some bookshelves. We could do some recessed shelving as well, and probably do something along these lines. So let's take out a little bit of this here. And let's replace the background with bookshelves. Just like so. Alright, and now we can add a little bit of our own kind of shelving. So we can do some carpet here, and let's go with the black carpet. The brown is a little bit too light for this application. I think black would look better. Alright, there's some shelving with some books that looks to be a little bit too wide for my liking. So we'll go ahead and tear this out and we'll bring it in by 1. Just like that. Perfect. I actually think that this would benefit from maybe some wood pillars as well. So let's take maybe some logs. Spruce would work. And let's see what happens when we incorporate this. I think that's just about perfect there. We can probably even add a little shelf here, sort of like a mantle with dark oak. And the bottom could actually probably turn into dark oak as well. And this is just using our imagination now that we don't have a whole lot of pictures to go off of. Let's replace this with the black. And add the shelving again. And that's a nice little cubby back there. Let's do a plant feature, which could be flower pot. And maybe a couple different types of flowers here. We'll take roses, and will the peonies fit? I think the rose bush will be too big. We'll do 2 different, this is on the half, so we won't be able to do that there. We could do an armor stand, but that's not going to fit that well. I think we'll just leave that as is. This room is still a little barren, so let's change out the way that those pictures were. I think the best thing to do right there would probably be to just grab another picture and move it a little bit. So let's go, instead of there, we'll go there. And we'll also need to add a little bit of light in there. Let's change this out to light and put another 2x2 here. There we go. And we can probably do a 2x1 here. And that would give us a little bit more light and some dynamic. Just like that. Actually, that's probably the worst color that we could possibly use because it blends so much with the wall. There are a few different paintings that would do just as good right here. Or better, I should say. That's a little bit closer. That at least shows some highlight. Okay, and in the corner we could probably do a small table behind here, but we don't want to get too busy. I think what we need to do now is embellish the television and just get a little rug set. So we have a few different colors going here. I'm thinking that black would probably make the best kind of rug. So let's just do a small black rug here, and we'll take some of the trapdoors and surround the television with it. And that way that should give it a little border kind of show that it actually is a television. Really hard to do modern televisions or anything like that in this scenario, you guys, but it does work okay. Even though that really doesn't look good now, I'm thinking that I should probably use item frames to give it a little bit of difference in carpet. So let's see, black, well, we already have black carpet on us. Let's try black carpet at the top, and then if we took an item frame and we'll put item frames on the side, and that does give it some dimension. Maybe if it had an empty map in it. I do have some empty maps in an ender chest. Let's see, ender chest. We'll grab some empty maps. Just like that. And I should be able to place those in here to kind of enlarge the frame, and here to kind of enlarge the frame. And that gives it a little bit of border. It looks to me like that will work. It kind of looks funny on the sides, but all in all, it looks like a pretty good TV. The only thing that I regret having here is a little bit of light, and I think that we can punch these out and probably do maybe some lighting here. So let's see, if we took this out, took that out, we can probably add a little bit of glowstone here and here, and we might actually be able to do some paintings here and here. What would the 2x1 paintings look like here? There's one. What would another one look like here? There is another variant, and that is probably good to go. Now the only thing that we need to really do is see about lighting and maybe some shelves too. Let's take the stairs here and do a little shelf just like so. We'll actually do it with the stairs just like this. That'll give it a little bit of depth. All the pictures are at the same height right here is the only thing that I don't like. So let's fix that. The two, that would have been perfect actually, the 2x1, but I already have that painting. Let's do a 2x1. That's a little bit more, that's a little bit better there. It's darker, but it works out pretty well. And now we need to do something with the light here. And I think maybe if we close this off, it would be really, really dark. Let's see. No, not that bad, but we could use some sort of light fixture that would hang down here. It's not really centered, so let's see. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 by 2, 3, an 8 by 6. So if we took 4, this would be the center or the most center of it. We can probably just change these out to glowstone and take the stairs and go all the way around. And I think that will work. In hindsight, I think taking away the lights and removing them up one without the paintings and increasing the size of the television would be the best bet. That would fill the space more appropriately, I believe. But yeah, that looks a lot better in my opinion. The last minute details, we need to take item frames and we need to really put something back here. So we'll take the item frames and we'll take something like the, well, we could use the sandstone, that'll work. And if we put item frames behind here, kind of like on the blocks as you can see, it will add the item frame as you can see. And then if we take the sandstone and add them to the item frame, we might just have to destroy these. Yeah, let's go ahead and take care of that. There we go. Oh, and well, the sandstone's still back there, that's fine. Let's take the item frame now and we'll take the sandstone and we'll put them just like this. And now when we hang banners on here, it shows like we'll have some sort of a little curtain rod or a brace there, and that just gives it a little bit of detail. And I think that is going to be just about it for the episode, you guys. I hope y'all really enjoyed it. The outside is not a whole lot to look at, but you can wrap a shell around this and have a nice little contemporary living room as part of your build. Not the most survival friendly build in the world, but hey, we're in creative. That's what creative's for, right? Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, this is Zueljin signing off, and we'll see you next time. Bye.